Former Rolling Stones bassist Bill Wyman reflected on his time with the band and expressed regret about not leaving earlier. He recalled facing resistance from the other members when he eventually decided to depart. Wyman joined what was initially Brian Jones's blues band in 1962, staying for over 3 decades as part of one of rock and roll's most famous rhythm sections, alongside drummer Charlie Watts. Throughout his time with the band, Wyman witnessed the Stones' famously tumultuous moments before leaving in 1993. In a new interview with Classic Rock, Wyman explained that he should have left sooner, particularly during the period of conflict between Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, which prevented the band from touring for several years. Well, I should have done it a lot earlier, in the 80s. I hung on for a 3-tour ending across 89 and 93 legs of the Steel Wheels Urban Jungle Tour after 7 years of nothing, and I'd ended up with a bank overdraft of £200,000 because we weren't earning anything. Mick and Keith were totally wealthy, so they weren't bothered. But me, Charlie, and Ronnie were scraping by. Ronnie started to do art to feed his family. Anyway, I only started playing with them again in the hope it'd only be a couple of years because I had all these other things I wanted to do. I wanted to do archaeology, write books, do photography, I wanted to play charity cricket, I wanted to do all these other things. And 30 years on, I'm still wanting to do them, to tell the truth. So I was so happy to leave in the end, which they absolutely didn't like and refused to accept. They said, "You have not left." When they were doing the plan for the coming year, I said, "Well, there's no point me discussing it, because I'm leaving." And they went, "You're not leaving." I said, "I am leaving, I've left." And they wouldn't believe me. 2 years went by, and they were putting the band together again to make a new record in '94. They said, "Are you still in the band?" I said, "I left 2 years ago." Mick and Charlie tried to talk me out of it, bless them, but I didn't want to. I just dropped everything, cleared the air, gave up a career, a terrible marriage, got married again and formed the Rhythm Kings with Georgie Fame and Gary Brooker, just for fun. When asked about any regrets in life, Wyman only mentioned his delayed departure from the Stones, though he found some positive aspects in his decision to stay on until the early '90s. Regrets? I should have left the Stones earlier. I should have left in the '80s when it was falling apart. But of course, it was fortunate that I did wait, because we had that wonderful 15 months in '89/90 doing the tour of America, Europe, and the first tour of Japan. We played 120 shows in 15 months to 7.25 million people. It was a glorious 31 years, because I traveled, met, and played with wonderful people, had fantastic receptions, made great records, and I wouldn't change it, but everything else since has been just as good, if not better for me.